Hi there guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Fanique. I'm Fanique, and today I'm coming back to talk to you about my hormones being tested and then finding out that I have 3 new fibroid tumors. Let's get into it. Okay, so to appropriately start this story, I want to take you guys back a little bit to 2021. If you're new here, in 2020 I found out I had one massive 12.4 centimeter fibroid tumor. In March of 2021, I had it removed, and we found 3 fibroid tumors, a 12.4 centimeter and 2 smaller ones. Yeah, so those 2 were a shocker. Cut to December 2021, I decided, okay, I don't have fibroid tumors. I had been tested. I didn't have them in December of 2021, and I wanted to really lean into my fitness journey. So I decided, I knew Pilates was the one workout I loved. I had been doing it since I was 19, and I knew that I just wanted to invest in doing it again and make it a priority to go to Pilates and get my workout in and figure out what was my sweet spot on how many days a week I should be working out, because 5, 6, 7 days felt like a lot, 2, 3 felt like too little, and I spent all of 2022 basically getting into a routine of doing Pilates. I'm a morning girl. I wake up early in the morning, so I do morning Pilates. I was able to make that a habit over the course of 2022. In addition, April 2022, I got tested for fibroid tumors. I had none. Okay. I decided to get real serious about losing weight, but more so changing my mindset around food and learning more about nutrition and just figuring out what was holding me back from living a life that was balanced when it came to food. So I signed up for Noom and I started on that. I started really seeing results and really taking it seriously in September, and by December I felt like I had lost around 15 pounds or close to it. So in December, it's Christmas. I'm living my life. Y'all know I'm a food girl. I'm a food and fashion girl. So the food was fooding. January is my birthday, so I'm living my life. But sometime around October, September, even like August, my period was not right. It was getting longer. It would stop after 3 days for like a little bit and start back like the next day or a few hours later, but normally like the next day or the next morning, or if it stopped overnight, then it would start later in the day, and it was like fresh red blood. To me, that was a red flag, because when I had fibroid tumors, my periods were 5, 7 days, and they looked like that. So I had been watching from the time I had them removed till today even, how my period looks, how it feels, what am I eating, how does it affect it. Because I also found that when I was eating healthier food, more veggies and more fishes and less processed food, less sweets, I was doing better. So my period just was kind of just messier and longer, and it just was extremely heavy. Even after surgery though, I had a heavy period, so I just always been like a heavy period girl, but I would have a heavy period for 2 days and it's over on the 3rd, like it's dead. So it getting longer was my first red flag. Like, your period getting longer to me and having a long period is not normal. I think 3 to 4 days is maybe normal. Anything longer than 4 is too long, and that's not normal to me. Now, the doctors don't tell you that. They tell you this and that, and 5 days isn't that long, and I feel it is. It's a week, babe. You work 5 days a week. I don't think your period needs to be that long. Okay? So if you feel like my period's really long right now and you have fibroids, I'm pretty sure they're contributing to it. That's my opinion. I'm not a doctor, and the doctors have different opinions than me. But I found with myself that my fibroids contribute to me having longer periods. Period. Also, I felt like I was using the bathroom a lot more, peeing a lot more. That was one of the biggest things for me. When I had fibroid tumors the first time, I just always used the bathroom, but I drank so much water, it didn't really hit me until I would see myself drinking a little less water and then going to the bathroom immediately. So for me, these were a lot of red flags. I found these Black women in Hyde Park to do my hormone testing. So I went ahead and got my hormones tested by them. It was very inexpensive too, like very inexpensive. $50 for the test, $50 for the consultation. Okay, very inexpensive. And we found that I was vitamin D deficient. Well, vitamin D insufficient. You're supposed to be between 60 and 70. I was tested and I was at 23, and deficient is 20 or less. So I was almost there. Okay, almost there. So I immediately started taking vitamin D 10,000 IUs. I started taking B12s because my B12 was at 609, and they said that it should be a range of 800 to 1300. So I immediately started taking those. Everything else looked good, like testosterone, estrogen, iron. Everything else was like within the levels. Okay, just want to let you know. So after I got my hormones tested, I got an ultrasound. A few weeks later, I had a doctor's appointment, my annual, where she told me I had 3 new fibroid tumors. They were size 0.6, which is a pea size, 1.6, which is a peanut size allegedly, and 1.9, which is also similar to a peanut size allegedly. So these are very small fibroids, but I don't care. I don't want none of that. Okay, that's how I feel. I don't want to be bothered. Okay, for me, I was just like super disappointed. For a good 10 days, I was like deeply in my feelings, like deeply, like very annoyed. Because in a 9-month period, I got 3 fibroid tumors. The thing that I think really annoys me the most is when at the doctor, when she gives me this, she also tells me, so should we put you on birth control pills to control your hormones? And I don't know if birth control pills do that. I feel crazy and insane. And if your hormones aren't balanced, or you're not recommended a hormone test, because I never was, I just did that on my own, you'll never know where your hormones really lie, So do I want to add more hormones into the mix? And then the woman who I went to did my surgery as well, did a video saying something like, we are hormonal creatures, so taking hormones is like, if we're hormonal creatures and there's an imbalance, why aren't we working to balance out those hormones? Why aren't we testing them and figuring out where we need to balance you out, instead of adding a whole new set of hormones into the mix, not even knowing where your current hormones are? That's what really pisses me off. That's what gets me, okay? So she offered me the birth control pills. I told her no, that I had my hormones tested, and that I found out that I'm vitamin D deficient, and I'm going to work on getting my vitamin D up and getting my vitamin B up and exercising and losing the weight and going a different route. I don't like birth control pills. I never have, and they're not for me, and I ain't never been pregnant, so I think you can manage. I think I'm able to manage, okay? So, I'm basically spending the next several months insisting on getting ultrasounds to make sure they're growing, not growing, so I can see where they are. I also feel like they've caused me to be constipated and bloated no matter what I'm eating, no matter what I'm drinking. We've given up dairy, guys. No red meats. Like, no sweets. Fruit is my sweet, okay? Like natural fruit and things, I need it. I'm sorry. I know some girls are like, don't do fruit, just vegetables, nothing else. Babe, I'm a food and fashion girl. I love the food, okay? I can't give up fruit. Fruit's literally from the earth. I don't want to, okay? But the hormone thing and the birth control thing really irritates me. So this is what I'm doing, okay? I am taking my vitamins. I'm taking a turmeric type of vitamin from Love Wellness and a probiotic. I was always taking those, so that's just my usual. The turmeric for inflammation, and the probiotic because it helps me with my vaginal flora. I don't do any dairy products, which sucks because I miss cheese and ice cream and all the things. Thank God for so delicious oat milk ice cream because it's fire. But I'm off sweets. So the only sweets I'm really having is like the sweets I make at home that are more than likely vegan and not processed. As little processed as possibly human. But really like no sweets, honestly. I think that is the thing for me. That is my kryptonite. I think that's what helps my fibroids grow the most is the fact that I do love sweets and I have them all the time. And I could have sweets on a diet if I was on a diet. I think sweets are my kryptonite. So I definitely pulling back, not for the rest of my life. For the most part, I'm doing a lot of seafood, a lot of cruciferous vegetables. Yes, a lot of cruciferous vegetables. Brussels sprouts are one of my favorites. Broccoli sprouts is something new that I'm like really putting into my everyday right now. But I'm heavy on the seafood and cruciferous vegetable vibe. No, no real red meats right now for the time being. No dairy right now for the time being. I'm very low on the bread, like little to no bread at this very moment. I'll have some bread here and there later, but right now it's little to no bread, especially because my stomach feels very bloated and I'm working through that. I'm about to go in the kitchen and eat this dragon fruit to see if that flushes a girl out and she can feel a little less constipated and bloated. But I think the constipation and bloat comes from the fibroid tumors, to be honest. I think it affects me in that way as well. I do want to note that in my last period, which was the day after I found out about the fibroid tumors, and I had been taking the vitamin D for several weeks, I found my period to be 3 days and then 2 days of extremely dark red blood. I mean, not even red. It was dark brown blood, almost black, but it was so dark. And that was a different type of period for me because I was like, okay, how many days is my period going to be? It's going to be 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. It was 3 days, solid. And then 2 days of extremely, like a little bit of super dark brown blood. It was, I was like, ooh, what does that mean? Hopefully that means the fibroids are shrinking, because at this point, I would love for my fibroids to shrink. I would love for them to either not change at all or shrink completely. That's my those are my two options for it. That's it. So the big changes: no sugar, no red meats, no dairy, increase in fruits and veggies, specifically the veggies over everything, eating seafood, eating some chicken. I'm considering going off of chicken as well, and no turkey. I'm just eat chicken and eat seafood. Like turkey, I can't, girl. Additionally, taking my supplements is my big thing. Like supplements. Because if I know I'm deficient in these things and I'm trying to get that from food, I also need something to help it. I need something more, because clearly if I'm eating all of these vitamin D type things and my body's not absorbing it enough, I need a little bit of help. So supplements come in there, the B12 comes in there, all of that. I can only eat so much. And having lost about 20 pounds since I started noon, I'm not that hungry. So my stomach has shrunk. My appetite is different. It's not the same. So I can't eat as much because I quite literally feel extremely full after eating a good amount. So here we are, guys. Once again with the fibroids. Working on that, working to shrink them. Remember last time when I got it from 12.4 to 12.2? Look, if I could do that in like a few months, I might do that this year for myself. So I'm optimistic. There's no point of me to be super negative, because I've seen some of the comments on these videos being like, you're so happy, you're so smiley, you're so cheery, da 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 da. First of all, I'm on the vitamin D. It's brought me up here. The vitamin B has brought me up here, like on a level of like very alert, very woke, very like up, but also very like happy. You know, I don't know how to put it, just like optimistic, you know, not in a super negative place. I was when I found out, but that can only last for so long, because I think that would make things worse for me, physically, mentally, all of the things. So we're doing our best. We're putting our best foot forward. Stay tuned. I'm going to be sharing like weekly vlogs of what I'm eating, a review of Noom, fashion, because this affects the clothes I wear, because my stomach, the bloat, the losing of the weight is affecting all of those things. It affects the foods I eat. But I'm still gonna make y'all some red meat. I might not be able to eat it. I might have to just do a little taste to make sure it's good before I give it out in the world. It affects the way I eat food. It affects what I'm eating, what I'm sharing, my daily eating. I do a lot of recipes, so even the recipes I make, if I'm eating the food, if I'm not eating the food, I can make out the red meats. Or if I have somebody to share the food with, I can do that with you guys. I can make it for you and then share it with someone else and do the smallest of a taste of that. But for the most part, it affects every area of my life. And it's super just disappointing, annoying. You know, I don't love it. But I can either wallow or I can either rally. And I'm rallying. I'm figuring it out. I'm working on shrinking them. I'm doing the best that I can. Additionally, I am adding some other supplements. Dr. Sebi's Iron Plus. I'm going to try his uterine wash as well and see how that works out for me. I've ordered them and I'm just waiting for them to come. Once I read all the instructions, get a full understanding of everything that they offer, and then start to use them, I'll come back and give you guys a review on them. But stay tuned. Weekly vlogs, fashion content, updates on my fibroid tumors, travel. I have a trip coming up this year that I'm very excited for, that I think you guys are going to love because I'm going to vlog it. So just stay tuned. I'm super hopeful. I don't want this channel to be a fibroid tumor channel, you know, because that's a portion of what I'm about. But I also want to share. I also want to give my experience to you guys who may also be experiencing the same thing, know someone experienced the same thing. It comes up later for you in life, you know. Yeah, that's the point here. So I'm gonna bring you with me. We're gonna have a good time regardless of what happens, and we're gonna move forward. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get alerts on these type of updates as well as all the other content coming. I'm super, super grateful for all of you. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.